Good morning, amazings. So today I want to talk to you about what you believe. It's if you made, created, generated, attracted $1 million, then you would already know that you can do it. So you would believe it. If you haven't, then you believe you can't. But the reality is you just haven't figured out how yet, because many people have started with zero and ended up with millions, right? I can give you some some real examples, like The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. $7. He started with $7. He has a company, $7 or $7 productions, I believe it is. That's one of his biggest stories. He had $7 in his wallet and went from there. I had another one in mind, but it slipped my mind, so I'll talk about it. I'll talk about just what you believe, right? What you believe, you can get, right? But you have to believe it. You have to decide that this is a reality for you. If they can do it, you can do it too. Who is that other person? There's plenty of them out there. The more I try and think of it, the more it won't come to me. So I'm going to let it go and let it come when I'm ready to receive it. But if you have never attracted it into your bank account, into your life, then you will have a hard time believing that this is possible. So how do we believe it's possible? And this goes for not just money. This goes for your own home, maybe. Maybe it goes for the love of your life. For me, the love of my life, we've been married for almost 14 years. And we've been together for almost 18 years. And I wasn't even, neither of us were even looking at the time. It just kind of fell into place. And I never had a problem finding love. So I knew I could attract it, right? But what about if you've never found, or if you're playing the story in your head that you never found the one, and maybe it's not even the one. Maybe you never have been in love before. Maybe you've never had a romantic relationship before. How would you be able to believe that's possible? And how do you start believing it's possible? Maybe it's a successful business. Maybe it's a career that you've been wanting to go down. Doesn't matter what it is that you're wanting to believe. How do you believe it? Like, how do we start believing that this is possible? And one of the ways is, for me anyways, it's a big way, is to start looking at people who it happened to. So I got pregnant with Loki when I was 44. My husband and I were married 2 years. We'd been trying. So we got pregnant before we got married, and we lost the baby before we got married. And then we got married and we tried for 2 years. And I was like losing hope and disbelieving and like all this stuff, even though I had read The Law of Attraction by Michael, darn it, I know his name, but I can't remember his last name. I will write it down below. I read that book. I started getting into, again, I had read The Secret millions of years ago. But I had been, in this, I knew what to, like, how to put it into place. But when it came to this, I had had babies before, so I knew I could have babies. But I was 44. Was I able to still have babies? Clock's ticking here. Can I give my husband a baby? I don't know. He never had children, so I thought it would be, we both thought it would be a good idea to have a baby together. And, I really love having kids. I love being a mom. So I really wanted to give it, but then to have a baby. But the pressure for myself, not from him, because he never ever, he's sweet. He's a sweetie. He's a good guy. He never pressures me into anything. If I want to do it, I can do it. But for myself, and putting it all on me. Um, and I realized that, okay, I got to let it go. I got to just, had to let it go. I had to let it go. Yes, I still did the things that I was supposed to do, but I had to stop beating myself up about it. I had to start reminding myself I could have babies. I did the research. I found out, yes, I got pregnant before, so I can get pregnant again. And I had to, like, I looked at all the people who were 40, 45, 46 having babies. And so I started going through that process of, um, I can have it. I can have a baby. I just got to let it go and let it happen. And then, sure enough, it did. But I had to believe it, right? I had to know that. And I mean, grieving was a big thing for me because I really had to let go of the fact that, yes, I had a miscarriage. And it was devastating to me. And I had to grieve it, let it go, and make room for new, right? And same thing like when you want to be a millionaire. So if you're sitting there thinking about, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to, you know, do this? How am I going to do that? Blah, blah, blah. Then you're taking, I mean, a millionaire would never, ever, ever think that way, would they? No. Not even if they had lost everything, which many have, and ended up with nothing, like many have, they would know how to rebuild it. They have that mindset now because they had that $1 million, right? They know it's possible. So then they would build to where they were and further, because they don't have any doubts whatsoever. They don't have any doubts in themselves and their capability. Same with like if you've just had jobs all your life, you'd have no doubt that you can just go get a job. It's pretty easy, right? Getting a career you want. So I was working at this place. I mean, I liked lots of it, but I also didn't like lots of it. And I pictured myself like working in an office, and I kept just thinking about that all the time on all the yucky stuff I was doing. And then some really bad stuff happened, so I ended up really injuring myself. And I was never clear on what I wanted to, like, what the office consisted of. Just that I wanted to work in an office and I wanted to help people, because helping people has always been my thing. And so I ended up hurting myself on the job. I worked with people with disabilities, and I ended up lifting something that was way too heavy for me to lift, trying to get them to help, but it didn't work that way, so I ended up hurting myself. Ended up on disability, ended up being offered a new training, so I went to the training and ended up with a job as an employment counselor, and I loved that for quite a while. I enjoyed all of the aspects of that, helping clients find jobs or careers or starting their own business, all of it. It was great. It was a lot of fun. You can train your brain into believing whatever it is you want it to believe, but you have to know that if you're limiting yourself, or you're getting those limited beliefs, or you're doubting yourselves, that's what's stopping you from believing that it's possible. You can get the career you want. You can start the business you want. You can get the money flow that you want. You can get the love relationship you want. You can get your relationships on track to where you would love them to be. But it all begins with you. If you're doubting you, then you're not going to get anywhere. If you can either think that you can either believe that you can or believe that you can't. Believe it can happen or believe it can't happen. It's totally up to you 100%. If you choose to believe one way, that's fine. But you can definitely change your thoughts to believing that it can happen. If it can happen for them, why can't it happen to you? Like, there are so many people who have similar stories to, let's again say The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and have like their career in football, baseball, basketball, doesn't matter, any sport or any career in anything has crashed, and they've chosen to just go get a job. And getting a job is great, but then they stay there because they don't believe that they can get back up on their feet to where they were, and they're staying in their memories of what was, but not what is now. They can change that just as easily as you and me, just as easily as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, as easily as a million people out there. Go research it. Go find out who started from zero and ended up with millions of dollars. Go find out who has never had a relationship, a good relationship, and is having the best relationship of their life. Go find out somebody who is working their career, who's wrote books. I mean, there's a million people out there. I just listened to Jim Rohn this morning. Just love him. I love the information he gives about how it comes right back into your corner on the only problem that is happening in your life is you, how you see it, how you think it, how you feel it, how you go through it. It's all up to you, 100%. So if you can't believe that it can happen for you, then go look at other people, similar situations that it's happened to, and then take baby steps into it. Do little things to get you there, because you're worth it. You are amazing. You deserve it. Start believing in yourself, because I do. Make an amazing day, everybody. I love you.